In a man's fight, someone got stabbed in the chest. Yet, the doctor plunged in a flaming long sword. Just now, Su-han was awakened again by Song Yuming. With an excited look on his face, he wanted to drag him to see the heavy rain at the mountain gate, but Su-han showed no interest in such false fame. She was on the verge of declining their generous invitation. This victor will represent our sect in the Great Debate Conference. The first place winner not only has the opportunity to become a direct disciple, but also receives a variety of elixir rewards. Upon hearing that there's a remedy that can ward off the cold, I became instantly intrigued. So, he left his studies behind and decided to check it out. On the road, he didn't forget to continue to ask Song Yuming about the Linglong Pavilion. Besides the mountain gate and the large brush, does Brother Song know of any other ways to acquire elixirs? Of course, there are. The Sword Guild dispatches tasks every month. As long as they are completed, rewards will be given based on the difficulty of the task. Su-han was all too familiar with this kind of task, as it was the standard method used by the Palace of Forest and Rivers to train assassins. At this moment, Song Yuming couldn't help but ask, "Brother Song, what's the use of that elixir if there's a problem with the meridians?" With an awkward smile on his face, Wan slowly began to speak. "I have a family secret technique that can repair the meridians, however, this method requires the consumption of many elixirs." Song Yuming was utterly bamboozled by Su Heng. Suddenly, a break underfoot, and everything came to a halt. "Here's a silver yuan pill and 3 lily pills. They may not be much, but I hope you won't find them lacking, Brother Su." This sudden gift left Su-han dumbstruck, and yet, Song Yuming's face showed nothing but seriousness. In the end, I had no choice but to take it with both hands. "Brother Song, I, Su-han, will forever remember the favor you have bestowed upon me today." Who would have thought that this once smitten fan of Hong Jian would now be the #1 fan of both Su-han and Hong Jian? Soon, the two arrived at the martial arts training ground. Who would have thought, the two on stage had only exchanged a couple of moves. Then I heard someone yelling, "Help!" Hearing the commotion, the dear one rushed in with a medical kit on her back. Looking at the other person's chest, frozen through. "I'm sorry, but the sentence you provided seems to have some errors or typos, which make it hard to understand and translate. Could you please provide some context or clarify it?" Immediately, he raised his hand, forming a sword with his fingers. Wham! Wham! Just like that, his pressure points were sealed off. Unexpectedly, this move made the man wince in pain, exclaiming, "Well, I'll be damned." Following that, his eyes shut tight, and he passed out. Seeing this, Keqing was somewhat flustered. The bleeding had clearly stopped, so why was this happening? At this moment, Wan came up from the side, muttering non-stop about the K-Fingju's acupoint he had just hit. "You've just sealed off his heart meridian. Although it has stopped the bleeding, it also prevents his vital energy from flowing. It's truly a case of losing the root while pursuing the trivial." Immediately, he instructed Keqing to unlock the new pulse gate, while sealing off the other acupoints that didn't affect the flow of qi. In the end, he also borrowed Song Yuming's cherished sword. With a serious expression and a cold voice, he spoke. "Human life is of utmost importance and cannot be delayed. Brother Song, could you please gather some firewood for survival?" Just as Song Yuming was about to reply, a small foot stepped on his head and jumped out. "Check. How long do you need to burn the firewood? Let me help you." Seeing this, the junior disciple at the side couldn't help but exclaim, "It's senior sister, sure." Su-han couldn't help but be startled. This is the infamous second senior sister from the numerous hurricanes, Fang Zili? But Suyu, not caring about everyone's surprised expressions, directly created a sphere of internal energy in her palm. 6. This move left Su-han's eyes blank, astonishment and speechless. The fire generated by the true source. This is something only a master of the Tongyu mirror can achieve. Unbelievable, he's so young, yet he has such cultivation. At this moment, Suyu was forging a sword for Su-han while continuously mumbling, "I'm helping you this time. Remember to help me roast sweet potatoes next time?" Su-han, with a face full of cold sweat, hastily replied, Definitely, very soon." The whole thing is roasted to a bright red. And so, she plunged right into the man's wound. The intense pain caused the man to pass out once again. Su-han flicked his fingers, ensuring the lime umbrella. So, Keqing immediately took it. Now, he's out of the woods. This lime umbrella has a unique role in his later recovery. And this unique, audacious method of rescue completely overturned the medical understanding of all the disciples. After having the injured man carried away, Keqing got up from his seat, nodding frantically at Su-han in gratitude. He even had the audacity to ask him for medical advice another day. Naturally, Su-han couldn't refuse when Bai Yueguang asked for help. Getting a positive response, "My dear, I bow again, gesture, and feel." Then, he turned around and walked towards his senior sisters. "Here goes Song Yuming, blowing smoke up people's asses again." She asked with an eager look on her face. How did he come up with such a method to stop the bleeding? Su-han said nonchalantly, "Sealing a wound with a red-hot iron can make the blood clot quickly. It's just a makeshift solution for people living on the road." As for the rest, all endured by the master, it's naturally impossible for Su-han to speak out. It wasn't until midnight, after finishing reading goodbyes, Su-han, that I returned to the courtyard to find the lights in my house brightly lit. He surely made a killing in the Chu dynasty. So you walk away, calling out their name as you go. But after yelling for quite a while, there was no response from inside the house. The killer's subconscious made him sense something was off. Immediately, he cautiously approached the room. With his command, he pushed open the door. The contents inside made his pupils dilate in shock. Complete collection. Releasing a demonic aura, he spoke in a cold voice. "Who's playing God here?" But with the door going bam, Su-han was directly pushed back several steps by an unexpected force. The imposing elder in a purple robe was seen standing at the door. Su-han knew full well that the person before him was a senior of Linglong Pavilion who could wear such clothes. Thus, he cleared his throat and asked in a low voice. "Excuse me, are you?" The old man uttered 2 words. "There's a demon aura." As soon as these words were spoken, Su-han instantly threw a punch and charged forward. But the old man suddenly turned around, using the diamond strength he trained from Lord Shura, intending to kill me. Recognizing the newcomer, Su-han froze on the spot. It was none other than the headmaster of Linglong Pavilion. "Sir, for what purpose do you come here?" The head of the sect raised his hand, shooting out a silver needle. It pierced straight into his chest, without any bias. With the head of the sect, the red thread in his hand is shaken. A stream of genuine fate surprisingly flowed into his body along with the silver needle. In an instant, Shi-Huan was rendered immobile. And the sect leader, however, has started ceaselessly manipulating the red thread. Suddenly, his eyes couldn't stop blinking, right on the spot. The Azura Duke of the Forest Palace. The big-eyed arrow species of the southern wilderness sword forest. Also, the remnants of Tian Samantian's medicinal power. Looking at the young man before him, the head of the sect began to speculate. A year ago, Qin Keqing was saved by an Azura who had rebelled from the Sanluo store. Sanghai Lu once again saved a young boy from their grasp, and then, Sanghai headed towards the Great Abyss Mountain. During that period, the master of Tian Samantian happened to go missing. You, an unknown lad, inexplicably became the son-in-law of the Marquis of Ning. Don't you think all of this is too dramatic? At this moment, beads of sweat were forming on Su-Han's forehead. "Sir, you didn't come here in the middle of the night just to tell me a far-fetched story, did you?" Unexpectedly, the head of the sect made a shocking statement, expressing his intention to take Su-Han under his wing. This olive branch left Su-Han with a face full of questions. "Today, I, Guan, acknowledge that your understanding of medicine far surpasses that of the average person. If I, Xuan Hefeng, could utilize your strengths, I will also provide you with 200 famous yuan singles every month." You should know, what Su-Han lacks most right now is elixirs, but he is well aware, there's no such thing as a free lunch in this world. Therefore, he asks the headmaster what conditions are attached. "All I need from you is a promise. No matter what the future holds, I hope you'll remember the kindness you've received from the Linglong Pavilion. When we meet again, preserve a shred of our Linglong Pavilion's legacy." Yet, these words only provoked Su-Han further. Why would the flourishing Linglong Pavilion need an insignificant nobody like him to preserve its legacy? The headmaster didn't bother to explain further, he simply left a single sentence, and then vanished into thin air. "If you've made up your mind, come find me at Xuanha Peak tomorrow." The silver needle was also pulled out from the body. After a lifetime of persisting cough, Su-Han finally regained his freedom. He kept banging on his arm, which he was holding in his hand. Immediately, a devilish smirk unexpectedly crept onto the corner of his mouth.